Well, unfortunately, and you're going to see this as a commonality with Bobby Petrino. He is, again, a lot of coaches are trying to climb up the coaching ladder. They're trying to get to their own situation. But Bobby Petrino, he's got a checkered past. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things college football, pro football, EA college football, Madden, anything related to American football, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also, be sure to hit the like button too. Okay, helps the channel out. It's not going to cost you anything. All it's going to cost you is being updated on all things football. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, I saw something happen recently in college football that is really interesting that I want to talk about because it reminds me of something historical. Now, let's get into a quick history lesson here because I think this is going to set the stage for what we're going to talk about right now. Here we are on Wikipedia, and it is Operation Underworld. Operation Underworld was the United States government's code name for the cooperation of Italian and Jewish organized crime figures from 1942 to 1945 to counter Axis spies and saboteurs along the U.S. northeastern seaboard ports, avoid wartime labor union strikes, and limit theft by black marketeers of vital war supplies and equipment. Think about the situation. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're against, the Axis powers right now. We're against the Nazis. We have to go over there. We have to do D-Day and all that kind of stuff. So our resources at home were a little bit limited. So again, we're in a desperate spot here. The United States was. So they go to somebody who they know can do the job. Now, this person comes with baggage. There's a lot of bad things that come with this person, but they go to this person that they know is good at what they need to do here, ally with them, and go on from there. I mean, you see Charles Lucky Luciano, they had to work with him, things like that. So this brings me to this next story here of a similar situation. Bam! Sources, Texas A&M hiring Bobby Petrino as offensive coordinator. Like I said before, in this instance, Texas A&M is the United States government, and Bobby Petrino is the mafia. Again, they can do what you need them to do. However, it is let's just say, a checkered past of a coach over here. From Chris Lowe, Jimbo Fisher is bringing in former Arkansas and Louisville head coach Bobby Petrino, one of the most respected offensive minds in football, to be Texas A&M's offensive coordinator, sources told ESPN. And again, you remember last year with Texas A&M, 5-7 record, not what they wanted to do there. Really had a hard time moving the ball on offense. Defense was absolutely chock full of stars, really, really good over on defense, but offense was just not what he wanted to do. Fisher has always called his own plays on offense and is one of the diminishing number of head coaches to do so. And although he will still be heavily involved in the Aggies offense, sources told ESPN that Petrino will take over primary play calling duties. Fisher just completed his 5th season at Texas A&M, a season that saw the Aggies go 5-7 and miss a bowl game for the first time since 2008. And again, a big thing about that too, they also just had one of the top recruiting classes of all time, if not of all time, come in. You're assuming a lot of those young freshmen in there, top defensive linemen, top wide receivers, top this, top that. You assume they would help out right away. Apparently not. And again, I know a lot of people have been getting mad at Texas A&M because they felt like they basically just bought the team. To be fair, hey, listen, if you've got the resources out there, go out and do it. But I'm telling you right now, Texas A&M is one of those cases where you can recruit players, but you still have to coach them. And again, I don't know what the fault was, but I do know that our dear friend Jimbo Fisher is trying to address that by bringing in Bobby Petrino. Again, checkered past, and we'll get into that here in a second, but very respected offensive mind here. Petrino was most recently at UNLV for less than a month after accepting the offensive coordinator under new head coach Barry Odom on December 15th. Petrino spent the previous 3 seasons as Missouri State's head coach and guided the Bears to the FCS playoff appearances in 2 of his 3 seasons. Last season was not one of those years. Still a pretty good offensive team. At the time of Petrino's arrival, Missouri State had gone 30 years without a playoff appearance. Fisher said the following the Aggies' disappointing 2022 season, which was marred by injuries and off-the-field issues, that he was open to relinquishing play-calling duties and hiring an accomplished offensive coordinator to come in and call plays, which would free up Fisher to be more involved in all facets of the program. This was one of those similar situations to Scott Frost. Scott Frost really stepped back from a lot of things there, kind of let the team take over. Still, it just, whatever the situation was with Nebraska, it didn't work out the way he wanted to. Jimbo Fisher, though, like I said right here, desperate times call for desperate measures. 5-7, number 1 recruiting class. There's only one person you can really blame here. It's not the talent on the team. That's not in question. So he's bringing in Bobby Petrino to address those situations. Petrino told Odom, the former the head coach over at UNLV, not the former coach, but the coach that he was formerly working with, that he was leaving for Texas A&M, according to sources. An official announcement by Texas A&M is expected soon. When we come back to December 15th, UNLV hires Bobby Petrino as offensive coordinator. This is crazy about this here. Petrino has been the head coach at Missouri State, and then Barry Odom is a talented coach who is I highly respected and I look forward to working with him at UNLV. Well, unfortunately, and you're going to see this as a commonality with Bobby Petrino. He is, again, a lot of coaches are trying to climb up the coaching ladder. They're trying to get to their own situation. But Bobby Petrino, he's got a checkered past. So we come over here to his Wikipedia page, and it comes over his head coaching record. Again, in 2003, he replaced John L. Smith, who was leaving for Michigan State at Louisville, and a good offensive coordinator over here. On January 7th, 2007, less than 6 months after signing a 10-year contract above, it was announced that Petrino had accepted the head coaching position with the Atlanta Falcons. So think about this situation right here. This is one where I'm not going to give him a complete pass, but I'm going to understand the situation. He comes to a 5-year, $24 million contract with the Atlanta Falcons. And then a major reason Petrino was brought in was to develop star quarterback Michael Vick into a more complete quarterback, Vick being known more for his ability to run than as a pocket passer. However, before Petrino's first training camp, it emerged that Vick had bankrolled an illegal dogfighting operation near his hometown in Newport News, Virginia. The terms of Vick's bail barred him from leaving the Virginia before the November 26th trial, ending any realistic chance of him playing a meaningful down in 2007. In a case of exceptionally bad timing, the Falcons had traded Vick's backup Matt Schaub to the Texans, so he had to play with Joey Harrington, Byron Leftwich, and Chris Redman as his quarterbacks. They had a terrible year. He left after 13 games, which was he tied for the third shortest non-interim coaching tenure in NFL history after Lou Holtz in 1976 and Urban Meyer in 2011. Ouch, Urban! You couldn't even make it work with Trevor Lawrence. He goes over to Arkansas, and actually he does pretty good. Again, first season here, goes 5-7, not great. His last season, 2012, wins the 2012 Cotton Bowl Classic, goes 11-2, which was really, really good. However, April of that next year, he does not exactly have the best situation here. So he got into a motorcycle crash with a former Arkansas All SEC volleyball player, Jessica Durrell. And apparently the entire time he was having they said it was an open secret that he was having an affair with her on April 10th. Long announced that Petrino had been fired. So again, before the 2012 season, he gets fired. He ultimately does not, coach until December 2012. No, that's when he gets hired by Western Kentucky. He coaches the 2013 season, and then he goes to Louisville. And again, does pretty good with them. And again, a big reason why was because they had the guy by the name of Lamar Jackson. You come down here and check him out. So they go 9-4, 8-4, 8-5, 9-4, 8-5 in Lamar Jackson's junior season. Goes to the NFL, and then he goes 2-8. Ultimately, they get rid of him from there. 2019 doesn't coach, goes to Missouri State. Okay, they were in the FCS first round here. However, they went 5-5, but they somehow made the playoffs. Went 8-4, made the playoffs, and then went 5-6 this last season. However, now he is going to Texas A&M. And then with Jimbo over here, you see the fact. Jimbo's a solid coach, man. Look at this. 9-4, 8-5, 9-1, wins the Orange Bowl, 8-4, and then 5-7 this last season. I don't know what the wheels fell off, because I'll let you know it was not players. This was 2022. This was last year's recruiting class, the number one recruiting class of all time, where we have the number one defensive lineman in the country, the number 3 defensive lineman in the country, the number 4 defensive lineman in the country, the number 5 defensive lineman in the country, the number 2 wide receiver in the country, the number 2 quarterback in the country, the number 4 corner in the country, the number 3 wide receiver in the country, the number 2 safety in the country, number 4 edge rusher in the country. They got a lot of talent. However, these guys, and again, these are freshmen. You come in, you have a couple years to play. A lot of these guys are thinking in their mind they're 3 and done. The 1, 3, 4, and 5 defensive linemen in the country, and you couldn't figure it out. Defense was good. Offense was definitely an issue, which, ultimately is why they're bringing in Bobby Petrino. So this is one of those things where, because the recruiting class is so good, it gives him a little bit of a time to work with it. However, it's also kind of like, yo, dude, this recruiting class is really good. We paid a lot of money for these recruits in NIL. So if you could go ahead and figure this out, we would appreciate it. If not, there might be something you have to do soon in terms of getting out of here. I have no idea what to expect from Bobby Petrino. I will say this, though. If he's going to be calling plays, the offense is kind of set. And again, Jimbo Fisher is going to be heavily involved in the offense. But again, desperate times call for desperate measures. Bobby Petrino is not, how to say it, he's very, very willing to leave whenever he gets a better opportunity, hence the reason why he left UNLV for Texas A&M within a month of each other. But I'm telling you, he knows how to coach offense. Even our dear friend D'Angelo Hall, who says, I don't like Bobby Petrino. I still don't like Bobby Petrino, but he knows offense. So hopefully he can come in and do well. I mean, Texas A&M is weird because I can't tell if they're good or not. Again, 9-1, 2020. So they're pretty solid. But, man, interesting to see what happens here. What do you guys think is going to happen with Bobby Petrino? Can he turn around Texas A&M? He's got plenty of, offensive firepower to work with there. We'll see if he does it, though. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.